As we said, it's gone on for too long. We need some decisive action. That seems to be what most of you are saying from home. As I've said, we've received over 3,000 SMSs on this particular thing so far. Let me just read one SMS here. This is Martin in Nairobi. You say, all Kenyans, be it Islamic and Christian, are one. Let's fight our common enemy, the terrorists. And then the last one, just before we go for the break, it's high time our Kenyan leaders take full responsibility. The NSIS, the government in general, needs to demonstrate this by giving us a proper plan on the way forward. That's Bob Kolo in Kayole. Keep sending your SMSs on 8040. We'll try and sample them as we go on with this bulletin on this very tragic day. We're taking a short break. We're coming back with more news.
This year, it's time to go big. Enjoy unbelievable discounts on home furniture, furnishings and decor. Get your dream bathroom at rock bottom prices or even transform your office with big bargains. There's only one sale, the big annual sale at the Tile and Carpet Center.
Old Mutual has helped people invest to secure their future. With this experience comes much wisdom. The wisdom to enable you to do great things.
With every dawn, a new hope is born. Hope for a better day in every way. Our dreams and aspirations fuel our energy. A sense of being in every little thing we do, bringing us closer in so many ways with one agenda: to achieve our goals. At UAP, we enhance lives across Africa to deliver the dreams we all hold so dear. Insurance, investment management, property investment, and financial advisory. UAP, better, simple life.
That's right. Yeah, I want to see it. Milk.
Hi, I'm Ivy. I'm 14 years old and I'm in Form 1. I love playing basketball. I want to be a pediatrician. The reason why I want to be a pediatrician is because I love helping children. BIC is my choice because I need it to write my future.
Think big, write big.
In Crazy Monday, how intimacy between husband and wife defines every aspect of Luo culture. Oyunga Pala on why men are dressing like women to work. Stranded girl turns out to be married man's lover. Plus the Crazy Monday comedy night from 6 p.m. Only in the Standard.
Welcome back. You're still watching KTN Sunday Night. Again, let me just very quickly go through two more SMSs before we go on with the news. And somebody says, it's very hard to say that the government is not sleeping on its job. We need qualified personnel because of the rampant corruption that's allowed many aliens to be in the country illegally. That's Ofula in Mombasa. And then police manning roadblocks across the country need to do their job better. We need people without papers, IDs to be identified, and those with fake ones to also be flagged. That is Mwanza from Machakos. 8040 remains the number. But let's switch the gears a bit and take a look at careers. And tonight on our continuing series of Choosing Your Career, we focus on the job of coxswain. There are only 14 coxswains or ship pilots employed by the Kenya Ports Authority. Not that there are many more. The few there work for international shipping lines, taking home between $6,000 and $12,000 each and every single month. Captain Moses Mudhama is one of the 14 working at KPA Mombasa. His job involves sailing any ship in and out of Kenyan waters, and he talks to KTN's Esther Kahumbi about this little-known profession.
Tower. Mike. Mike, control tower. Good morning. How far is BBC Tennessee?
It's only 7:30 a.m. at the Kenya Ports Authority and traffic is already building. Ships coming in from the high seas expecting to dock at the port of Mombasa.
Roger to that. Advise the vessel to maintain position. Pilot is preparing to proceed out for her.
And that for Captain Moses Muthama, a ship pilot to the Kenya Ports Authority, means his day has begun. Once on Kenyan waters, it is his job to navigate any foreign ship from the high seas to the port.
Pilot boat, now the two, Mike.
His first today is BBC Tennessee, a ship from the UK, today coming in from the Persian Gulf, and she is all ready for Captain Mudhama. And so he heads out. A pilot ship awaits him at harbour. It will sail him out a few nautical miles from the port of Mombasa to meet the BBC Tennessee. KPA has only 14 pilots who take turns to handle the over 700 ship movements at the port in any given month. From the get-go, it's easy to tell that Captain Muthama enjoys what he does.
I love every bit of it, from meeting different masters, boarding different types and sizes of ship, and it's a nice job. It's enjoyable.
Soon BBC Tennessee is in sight, but being the master of the ship, he has to grant the permission for us to film his ship.
I have one request from pilot. With me, I've got a cameraman just for the purpose of recording a master-pilot exchange. With your permission, I would like to request you allow them on board.
Yes, you can proceed to me, of course.
The exchange is usually the trickiest part. With the bigger ship generating heavy undercurrents, the pilot boat can easily be toppled over as it comes near the big ship. This one, a cargo ship, is delivering assorted goods to Kenya, its last port being in Abu Dhabi, and will be heading to Dammam after offloading at the port of Mombasa.
Just like normal.
On board are the master of the ship, his assistant and coxswain, but also visible are 3 military men deployed by the United Kingdom government to offer security. Following the high insecurity caused by pirates on East African waters, it was a precaution their government decided to employ.
Come to Mombasa. You plan to proceed on to berth number 10.
And after the usual protocol, Captain Mudhama's job begins. His commands on which route to take will guide them through the channels without hitting any obstacles.
East to 5. East to 5. 305.
305.
The language I speak is the language the ship's crew speak. It's not language per se, but the commands. When I give a command, it's understood.
It may seem like an easy job, but it took Captain Muthama all of 11 years to complete his studies to attain the Class 1 certificate of competency, which is the highest level.
It takes long because this is a training which combines both college and sea time practical part of the training. You go to college, you do your first exam, you are required to serve at sea for a certain duration, which is in any case not less than 12 months.
Okay.
And for anyone to acquire qualification for the little-known profession, they must prepare to dig deep in their pockets, especially since most of the training is in Ghana, Egypt and the UK. It costs about £10,000 for each of the 6 certificates needed to acquire the highest qualification, which is a Class 1 certificate. That is about 780,000 Kenya shillings at current market rates for the 6 certificates.
The training is expensive if you are sponsoring yourself. Lucky for me, I was trained by Kenya Ports Authority. They bore the cost.
But once there, Captain Muthama admits that the perks are motivation enough to justify 11 years of training.
Compared with other profession, it pays well. On foreign ships, for a captain, it ranges between maybe 6,000 US dollars up to 12,000 US dollars.
But like any other job, it also has its challenges. The worst, however, would be the amount of time spent at sea away from family. The BBC Tennessee captain confessing that he has not been home now for the last 6 months, sailing from port to port, and this, he says, is the shortest it has been.
Kenya Ferry, Mombasa pilot, good morning. For your information, 1 inbound ship.
The BBC Tennessee arrives at the port of Mombasa allocated berth number 8 for offloading, a procedure which takes precision to ensure it is parked properly. After offloading, which may take about 3 days, she will proceed to her next port in Dammam. Captain Muthama, having completed his job, heads out, and in just a few hours, if not minutes, another ship will come calling, and just like the BBC, he will have to go and guide her home, because that is the calling of a ship pilot. Esther Kahumbi, KTN, Mombasa.
Well, now you know what it takes to be a coxswain. Well, now we'll sail through to the United States of America, of course, that continues to attract the highest number of visitors and new residents alike each and every year. Kenyans make up a significant part of the thousands who decide to take this journey, with over 5,000 Kenyans moving permanently to the United States last year alone. Now, KTN's James Karani, who just got back, of course, from the United States, as you can see, he's with me in studio, after visiting the States, sought to find out what the life for these Kenyans is like, the people who decide to make the big move across the Atlantic.
America still remains the destination of choice for most Kenyans who wish to emigrate from Kenya. With an estimated 500,000 registered Kenyans and probably an equal number of unregistered Kenyans living in the world's superpower, it's by far the largest population of Kenyans living abroad. Most Kenyans who choose to set their base in the US come here for the same reason that brings millions of others from around the world: the American dream. It's been called by many the land of dreams. But as one person put it, the big question when it comes to any dream, be it American or otherwise, is whether one wakes up or one continues sleeping. A big question that is answered differently depending on who you talk to in the streets of the many cities in America. It's a hot spring afternoon just outside Washington, D.C., in the affluent suburb of Beltsville in the state of Maryland, an area that's called home by many of the nation's capital upper middle class. But just next to the interstate highway that leads all the way to New York from Washington, D.C., there's a familiar sound, that of rumba, and a smell that's unmistakably that of nyama choma. As you approach the restaurant, a welcome surprise awaits us. Beltsville, it turns out, is also the home of Swahili Village, a restaurant that's fully owned and managed by Kevin Onyona, a Kenyan American who came here with nothing but a dream.
And it was always my dream as a young man in that small town to one day get out of that town and go somewhere in the world and achieve something for myself. This was a dream we had along with a lot of my friends who have done it, and many times we get together and laugh about it, and right now we can say, you know, we're able to live that dream.
Like many Kenyans who choose to live in the US, homesickness remains one of the biggest challenges, with many feeling alienated by not only the lifestyle but also the food that's very different from what they were used to in Kenya. For Kevin, who had been a successful sales manager in Kenya and also in the US for over a decade, he decided to blend his long-held passion of cooking and the useful experience he had acquired in the corporate sector to bring Kenyans together. That was 3 years ago, marking the birth of Swahili Village.
At the back of my mind, I always knew that I have a love for cooking. There was always a void for a good place, a good African place where you can go with family, sit down, enjoy a good meal. And, you know, as Africans, and especially East Africans, we're very biased when it comes to food. We only like our food. We don't like to try a lot of other foods.
The fruits of his dream are now visible, with Swahili Village not only employing over 10 employees, but also connecting so many Kenyans from across the US who I discovered after sampling the ugali and nyama choma at Swahili probably get a better deal than most of us in Kenya. The restaurant is almost always full when open, with not only Kenyans but Africans at large who come from all over to wine and dine in a high-end African restaurant. As I sample the Swahili Village cuisine, I get the opportunity to talk to more Kenyans, and I quickly learn that while Kevin and his family are clearly an American success story, it's not always the case, with thousands of Kenyans who remain undocumented going through tremendous challenges. As Kevin Onyona and Hussein Ali, a Kenyan American also living around the Washington, D.C. area and working for an international organization, the US is a great country, but it's not always the case.
Like everybody else, that is the life that we all face when we come to this country. It is, you know, it seemed like a beautiful dream when you leave Kenya to come here. When you come here, the nightmare begins of the reality of life.
So everybody here, even getting the driver's license is a problem. So many people can't even get it. Some are citizens themselves.
Illegal immigrants are not the only ones who face challenges. Perfectly legal immigrants face numerous adjustment challenges once they arrive in the US, as we learn from Jackie Ngetich, another Kenyan success story in the US and a health practitioner.
You have to clock in, you have to clock out, everything is time. If you don't go to work, you don't get money.
In the course of the afternoon, I get the opportunity to talk to many other Kenyans. But that's of course in between grabbing a bite or two from Kevin and his team. My journey in the US has only begun, but I must say in a remarkable manner, Swahili Village will definitely remain etched in my mind with its uniquely Kenyan feel and taste despite being right in the heart of America's power quarters. Nevertheless, I'm told that I've heard and seen just a fraction of the Kenyan story in the US, and with many other states to visit, I get back on the road. Reporting for KTN, just outside Washington, D.C., in the United States, I'm James Karani.
And he's back with us in the studio. I'm sure the experience was quite a bit, but would love to still have that expertise back here in the country. Well, James Karani, I'm sure the experience is one you're still going to tell us.
It is one, and as I've just said there towards the end, that's the first place that I went to. I had the chance to go to, over 10 states, and I hope that in the course of the week I'll be able to share with Kenyans these stories. But that's for another day. But for tonight, the bulletin does go on. And tonight on our motoring segment, Auto World, KTN's Betty Kialo takes us back to the early 50s when engineers were starting to manufacture elegant cars. In the past episodes of Auto World, Betty highlighted cars that have evolved into machines with minds of their own, if I may add. But tonight we sample the classics.
Welcome to yet another edition of your favorite motoring segment, Auto World. My name is Betty Kialo. Now, in this episode, we showcase little beasts, beautiful machines which date up to the 1950s. Let's get this started. Like an army's convoy, the minis drive with stance, boldness and sheer British class. Their number plates showing the number of years that they have been alive and kicking on planet Earth. These are the Mini Coopers, and all of them date back to the 1950s when car engineering was the biggest and the most expensive thing. They have been described as cute, tiny and chic. I describe them as little growling beasts. Everything about them, from the side mirrors to the dash, which is home to the classic instruments like this speedo, water and fuel gauge, the opening handles, the steering wheel, the stick and engine, are definitely not from these times. To bring some good old memories back, the Minis were a classic hit from the 1970s, with these cars being featured in oldies like Mr. Bean and in the Italian Job, where they had one of the best car chase in history. Over the years, some of them became too old, others were dumped and used as scrap, but some were salvaged and are still globe-trotting like the ones in Kenya. Meet the Mini Lovers of Kenya Club. They are simply men and women who own minis and literally love them to death. They have made numerous efforts and spent a lot of money to get these cars in shape and make them showstoppers, like many describe them.
Quite costly. It costed almost me like 650,000 to 700,000.
When I wake up in the morning, even if it's not dirty, sometimes it's dust, I have to wash it again. And then when I go with it somewhere before I leave, I have either to wipe it.
In my efforts to feature them on Auto World, I made arrangements on a cool Thursday afternoon of June to showcase the beauties. We met along Langata Road, and after a chit-chat and a whole lot of admiring, we set out to the winding roads of the plush Karen Estates. The Minis have engine capacities ranging from 850 to 1400 cc. Some are 4-seaters while others are 2-door coupes. A short wheelbase and a balanced center of gravity make them stable and safe. When it comes to performance, don't be cheated that their small nature results to dismal performance. These cars can move. The huge bug-eyed headlamps give these cars a unique look. Their donut tires that are fitted with customized rims make the car sporty. The fuel tank is as small as the cars, with handles seen in cars from the 1960s. But these cars come with some history. The owners say that before they got to look good, it was somewhat a journey.
A friend of mine who was putting dogs inside, so I became interested with it. I told him to sell it for me. It was junk, and with my work, I realized I just saw it and I saw the potential in the car. I picked it, made it up. It was very attractive. The owner wanted to buy it back from me, but I couldn't give it.
When it comes to maintenance, these cars are expensive.
You can get the stuff from the UK, but now the biggest problem is the duty you pay. It's quite expensive because it comes to almost like double the price you buy the spare parts.
I got into one of the oldies and it was something different from all the cars ever highlighted on Auto World. So this is KVG 212. The owner likes to call it Old English. A car that was manufactured in 1978. Can you imagine? Just about to join Ngong Road. We're at the racecourse right now. There's traffic, but of course we're moving fast in this convoy of beautiful, beautiful machines. Just to show you that these cars can actually look really good after years and years of manufacture.
The owners say that one of the reasons that they love the Minis is because they are fuel efficient. Take for example, a trip to Nakuru would cost you just 1,500 shillings to and from.
I do like 20 kilometers, 20 coming and 20 going back home, and that's like 40 kilometers. And I do like 250 to 300 a day.
With the many changes made on the Cooper, a new one is here, connecting the old to the new.
Now this is the Mini Cooper 2006 version. I can describe it as a replete with British charm and of course German engineering. Of course it's a great improvement from the other Mini Coopers that we were seeing earlier on.
Powered by a 1.6-litre engine that makes about 115 horsepower, the new version is curvier, bigger and stylish. The dash of the new Cooper is home to many gizmos with a different way of handling. However, the Speedo remains to be one of the most distinctive attributes that links the old ones to the new. Verdict: the Minis are a great charm from yesteryear's treasures that are bold and classy. For Auto World, my name is Betty Kialo.
That may be good enough for these gems, but gems are getting tougher. You need advanced protection. Lifebuoy Advanced Lifebuoy gives protection against 10 infection-causing germs. 10 infection-causing germs. 1 advanced protection. Lifebuoy.
At UAP, we enhance lives across Africa. Insurance, investment management, property investment, and financial advisory. UAP, better, simple life.
Herbal Betasil medicated lozenges. Fast, effective, and soothing action for sore throats.
A sore throat can be so uncomfortable and just makes you miserable, making swallowing painful, talking a bother, and even singing stressful. When you have a sore throat, take it easy. Ensure you take plenty of fluids and remember, always, when symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Now introducing 2 new Betasil flavors, Betasil Menthol and Betasil Peppermint. celebrates.
Kenya is also looking to form the Confederation of African Rugby.
Entertainment.
Telemundo presents The Clone. Standard Digital, your gateway.
In Crazy Monday, how intimacy between husband and wife defines every aspect of Luo culture. Oyunga Pala on why men are dressing like women to work. Stranded girl turns out to be married man's lover. Plus the Crazy Monday comedy night from 6 p.m. Only in the Standard.
Gold Rush in association with Kenya's migration to digital television.
The red singlets of Kenya are relentless foot soldiers. The greatest endurance nation of the modern Olympics has a stunning list of current gold medal prospects. Here's just some of them. But while the Kenyan men have been growing ever stronger, a new power has risen in athletics: the Kenyan women. Heading an imposing list is Vivian Cheriot. Cheriot was the Laureus Sportswoman of the Year for 2011, after winning the 5,000 metres and the 10,000 metres double at the World Championships.
I don't imagine that I'm going to win this night, but thank you so much, because I know you are the one who trusted me to take the win. Thank you so much.
The nation on the equator showed the world its running power, with 6 gold medals in Beijing. They were followed by 7 more at the World Championships in Daegu. Even back then, they were already talking London.
I don't plan about London, but I hope it will come. You know, I cannot plan something which is ahead next year, but I hope my body will be the same next year, and I'm going to try my best, because that is the main medal that I don't have in championships.
I'm looking forward to racing next year in London Olympic Games. That's my motivation to race again next year.
800-metre world champion and world record holder David Rudisha will be one of the faces of the London Games.
It's time to migrate your analog TV to the beautiful new world of digital television. Digital TV, a beautiful new world of entertainment.
Years now, Old Mutual has helped people invest to secure their future. With this experience comes much wisdom. Wisdom to enable you to do great things.
Both dem na chali, cause tuseme dem amepata pregnant kwa mdogo, labda kuna zile goals alikuwa ameset, but yo pregnant imemwaffect.
It's gonna affect both the chick and the guy. For the guy, because of the bill that was passed, he can't he can't run away from his responsibilities. He'll have to take care of the kid, and that's going to be hard for him.
Unplanned pregnancy will affect both of them, because let's say, for example, the chick is maybe in high school or college, so she'll have to drop out to take care of the kids. And also, maybe the boy won't be ready.
Welcome to Sports Today. Now, it's only 15 minutes into the Euro 2012 finals, and of course, Spain has already scored 1 goal, and this doesn't actually mean good news for Italy or for all the fans on the Italy side. There are quite a number of players to look out for in this very specific match, and one of the players here is Xavi Alonso, that is on the Spanish side, and also on the Italy side, despite his maturity levels, one of the players to look out for is definitely Balotelli Mario. But well, let's take some time and take you back to Kenya, or bring you back to Kenya, so we can get you updated on what's happening locally. Matthew Sawe won bronze in high jump, while Gladys Cherono completed a double when she won another gold medal for Kenya on the final day of the Africa Athletics Championships in Porto Novo, Benin. That was today. Cherono belatedly entered the 10,000-meter races to join compatriots Priska Jepleting and United States-based Betsy Sena. According to the reports coming in from there, they say Cherono had won gold in the women's 5,000 meters on Thursday, and today she led a Kenyan sweep of medals in the 10,000-meter event. It did not matter what Cherono was taking part in the 10,000-meter races for the second time, as left compatriot Jepleting in her wake with the 100-meter left. She won the race in a personal best time of 32 minutes 41.40 seconds. Jepleting, who failed to qualify for the Olympics, finished second for silver in 32 minutes 45.73 seconds. Sena completed the podium finish in a time of 32 minutes 48.36 seconds. And looking at more local sport, Team Kenya will officially start its training tomorrow. But that training could be clouded by a controversial decision by the National Olympics Committee to send a section of the Kenya team for advanced training in a low-altitude region in Bristol, United Kingdom. Coaches and athletes were earlier this evening locked up in a meeting as they tried to diffuse the imminent tension. The coaches who spoke to KTN off camera are opposed to the Bristol idea, arguing that it will disadvantage the athletes who have been selected to train in Bristol. Athletes in the 800-meter, 1,500-meter and 400 categories are expected to leave the country on July 3rd. Besides the Bristol dilemma, the National Olympics Committee is also expected to make a decision regarding the 2 world champions, Ezekiel Kimboy, who was arraigned in an Eldoret court on Thursday and charged with assault. Well, still looking at sport, Kenya Airports Authority defeated Trailblazers 61-47 in a basketball league match at the Nyayo Stadium. And in hockey, JKI8 were better than the Wazalendo in a Kenya hockey match played at the City Park Stadium. Details in our sports briefs.
The match between Mombasa Sports Club and Vikings was not played after Mombasa Club failed to honor their fixture. However, Kenyatta University cruised to a 3-0 win against Wazalendo. KCA settled to a 2-all draw with Green Sharks in another late kickoff. At the Nyayo National Stadium Gymnasium, women's side USIU won 88-22 against Mennonites in a Kenya Basketball Federation League match. USIU were no match for their opponents as they managed 25 points against Mennonites 3 in the first quarter. USIU dominated the match, and by halftime they were leading 47-15, and Mennonites did not pick up as they went to lose the match 88-22. Hilda Ndasi helped USIU win the last quarter after scoring 17 points. Kenyatta University edged out Nakuru clubs 57-55. And in Eldoret, the Kenya Prisons women's volleyball team, who were also the African champions, defeated league champions Kenya Pipeline by 3-0 to lift the 13th edition of the Paul Bitok International Volleyball Tournament. The Prison Wardresses had defeated Pipeline on Friday during a league match, and they underlined their supremacy Sunday by handing the Oil Women a 25-15, 25-16 and 25-23 defeat under the overcast sky in Eldoret. The men's final between the General Service Unit and Forest Rangers will be played on Monday morning, following heavy rains which caused the stoppage of the tie. Prisons had defeated Talent Academy 3-0 to advance, while Kenya Pipeline stopped Nairobi Water 3-0.
And finally, the Kenya Premier League players transfer